How do you know for a fact other people are real? How can we be sure that other people are not just some random background characters with no real soul, an inner monologue, or a unique human experience? Is everyone just a half-rendered NPC in your life? We will explore the ideas behind the NPC meme, from the most innocent
to the most disturbing. So, stay tuned.
NPC Theory. One of my favorite paranoia-inducing, simulation-core black-pilled theories to come out of the freethinker's gutter that is f***tion. 1. Is everyone real? One of the first instances of the idea that only your own mind is certain to exist comes from solipsism. This is Gorgias, Greek sophist, in year 490 BC. One day he was all like, nothing exists. Even if something exists, nothing can be known about it. And even if something could be known, knowledge about it cannot be communicated to others. Everyone was like, okay, you're no fun, Gorgias. But you get the point. Objective knowledge is unattainable. So when you have a thought, a feeling, anything from within yourself, or conversely you taste, touch, or get any input from the outside world, you can be kind of sure your experience is real, at least in the sense that you are having it. But we can't be certain of most things since they happen outside of us. In some sense, when a friend tells you about his trip to Brazil, you're taking a leap of faith, probably unconsciously, to believe that what he is saying to you did actually take place, even when you will never get direct sensory evidence of his experiences. Take this to the extreme and you'll realize all information you get from the world, and that is not in your immediate field of experience, is based on this principle that you are sort of just believing things are outside yourself, that there is a world that exists independently of your own experience, even when you don't have any direct evidence of, say, what's on the other side of the planet. And just to add an extra level of paranoia, once you start questioning yourself about all this, it becomes harder and harder to prove whether anyone else is truly conscious or not, let alone real, so you can only be sure of what's inside this bubble. 2. The simulation hypothesis. This idea dates way back to ancient China, India, and Greece, to name a few, because it seems humans have been doubting what they see and feel for a long time. A more modern take comes from Professor Nick Bostrom, who popularized the simulation terminology, arguing that because computers have become so powerful in such short time, it's logical to assume they will keep doing so, to the point where they'll be able to recreate our very own reality. Now, if you're a computer, you'll always be interested in saving processing power, so why would you render everyone the same way? It's way more efficient to render entities who only gain more complexity as the player interacts with them. This theory explains why, when you are, say, in need of some random information or guidance, someone might pop into your life to deliver exactly what you needed.
This, rather than a simple coincidence or a hand from God, is the simulation spawning a temporary NPC to, quotes, advance your plot line.
3. Mass media and cultural programming. In 1973, George Gerbner formulated his theory of cultivation, a framework designed to unravel the enduring impacts of media consumption, with a primary focus on television. It proposed that our perception of reality could be gradually cultivated by heavy exposure to television and media, even if the image of the world they present is distorted.
Another school shooting has taken place, this time in Idaho.
Oh God! Change it! Change it!
This was the second time a terrorist threat has been made on a theme park.
Oh God! Change it!
And it seems there's a new danger to look out for. Children who are taken by strangers.
Tweet!
Media doesn't just inform us, it reinforces patterns in how we speak, think, and act. Link that to the NPC metaphor and you'll get. NPCs don't develop their own narratives. They just repeat pre-written ones.
I love dogs. Doesn't everyone? Bye.
Similarly, media-fed narratives might be the scripts most people unconsciously follow. What to buy, who to be, how to think, who to fear. So, if many behave in predictable coded ways, thanks to media influence,
the sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
How different are they to NPCs? The antidote to this could be trying to be aware of such narratives, to try and see these invisible scripts people follow and having our own ideas so that we can write our own script for the voice in our head.
Controlling exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous.
4. No inner monologue. Most of the videos talking about NPCs and people having no train of thought seem to be based on this paper published in 2016. The study goes like this. People were given a beeper that would prompt them randomly over a 2-hour period during the day, so they would have to report what was going on inside them in that precise moment. The purpose was to see the frequency at which people experienced 5 distinct phenomena, namely inner speech, inner seeing, feelings, sensory awareness, and feature 5. I haven't described feature 5 so you can speculate what it is. Okay, so 5 is unsymbolized thinking. Quoting Professor Hurlburt, I hope I'm saying it right, the lead researcher in the study, unsymbolized thinking is the experience of an explicit, differentiated thought that does not include the experience of words, images, or any other symbols.
But wait, let's go back a little.
For example, if you had been beeped a moment ago, you might have experienced an unsymbolized thought, which, if expressed in words, might have been something like, I wonder what feature 5 is. But if this was an unsymbolized thought, there would have been no experienced words. No experience of the word wonder or of feature 5. The really interesting thing they found is that people often saw their own thoughts as inner monologue when it actually was unsymbolized thinking, showing many of us live in unsymbolized mode. When asked, out of the 180 participants, 72% reported constantly talking to themselves. But this number fell to only 18% when scientists actually measured it. People grossly overestimated how much they engage in inner speaking. So next time you're about to call someone sheeple, you might be no more than the annoying member of the herd who thinks he's different.
Inner speech is a spectrum, with some people doing it all the time and others, well, never. And this raw train of thoughts seems to work just fine for them.
4. Gnosticism. What if reality was not only false, but created by a dark evil deity? This is the claim of the Gnostic belief. This collection of philosophical ideas dates way back to well before the time of Christ, drawing inspiration, or sometimes influencing, Christianity, Platonism, Hinduism, Judaism, and many isms more. Gnostics looked at the world and came to a radical, and honestly, pretty grim conclusion. The physical universe we live in is not the true reality. It's a flawed, dark, and ultimately fake creation. Reality is a prison created by an imperfect being, the demiurge. The Syrian-Egyptian tradition of Gnosticism claims there was a remote, supreme god called the monad, or the One. This superdivinity then emanated lower divine beings known as eons. The demiurge came from these lower beings and created this fake physical world where we live. In order to escape from it, humans must obtain gnosis, which is a kind of special knowledge of the divine. In other words, the monad, the supreme light, descends through a series of stages, becoming progressively more material and embodied. Gnosis is the act this same light performs, but now taking the shape of you and retracing its steps through spiritual knowledge and contemplation to become the monad once again. So, going back, both Gnosticism and the NPC theory assume most people are unaware of the true nature of reality, believe a false creator controls the world, suggest only a handful of people are awake enough to see it. Movies like The Matrix didn't invent these ideas but modernized them. Neo waking up? That's a Gnostic awakening. Morpheus offering the red pill? Gnostic initiation. Most people trapped in the Matrix? NPCs under the demiurge's spell. And today, people talk about waking up from the Matrix, from consumerism, from programmed thinking. Coincidence? Or ancient wisdom resurfacing? Well, you decide.